Hey, you can watch over the history of the show. You can see all the people I've just shuffled out of here. Had a lot of help in the past, and they all were substandard, and I had to make them go the other way.
They all found better opportunity. Or
is that what happened?
Something with a glimpse of opportunity and future in it, and maybe pay.
Hey, it's a special bulletin, breaking news. This is breaking news, Tech Talk Taco Tuesday night to bring you out of that funk because you're staring at a screen looking for election results.
No, I thought you weren't going to use that word, election results.
Well, you need
election.
You need to pay attention to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday because we're going to talk about something that will really make a difference. Because
I'm excited because we're next to Mr.
Andrew Short,
Jackie Short.
Yeah,
she's been cracking me up on the Instagrams a bunch. She does some funny stuff.
Welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday special edition, show number 231. It's Tuesday. And we're going to talk about motorcycle and motorcycle-related products. And Andrew's going to Facebook Live gram us or Twitter talk. What are you doing?
I'm just Instagramming.
He's just playing.
So co-hosting tonight.
Why are we sitting next to two blank chairs on the screen on this one?
I don't know.
That's not even the right episode. I'm watching the wrong stinking episode on here. I had this so I could read this stuff. Look, I'm looking at Jimmy and two blank seats. I thought you airbrushed us out or something goofy.
Oh, wait, I could do something better. Wait, who's the right guest here? So, yeah, this is the show where we talk about motorcycle and motorcycle-related products. I fixed it.
That's retarded. And we were both sitting there. We had the 30-second delay.
Can we just call you Choi ahead? Because I can't really tell the difference. Well, I just spilt that on top of the thing here.
It says live.
It's okay. Yeah, I know it's live, but if it's live, you get to see it. It looks the same. You can't really tell the difference. A pretty desert flower cactus. I was going to introduce you, George, but it's more fun to do this.
Cactus head.
Kind of a prick. Anyways, so welcome to my special guest co-hosts, George, spelled Jorge, yeah, and Andrew Short, who happened to. I just found you out riding around out in the desert.
No.
Oh, you planned to come here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason everybody came to visit me this week. And I don't really like to talk about myself all that much, but we might talk about it. Whatever happened.
It was super cool. It needs to be talked about
this weekend. Okay. So anyways, we have the chat going up in the show. I'm not going to wear that.
Yeah.
You said you weren't going to wear a suit the other night either, but you did that.
Yeah, but something else happened. But we'll see how long this show works. I just spilled beer all over the keyboard.
I don't think see it.
Anyways, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. It wouldn't be possible without the help of some sponsors that I. Yeah, let me get to the sponsor reads first. Of course, we got to thank Yamaha, Taco Moto. We're not doing Roosterendo because I didn't know we were going to do this show that much, and then I didn't prepare for it. So you can send us Roosterendo submissions next time. What else do we have? Fast Company, Flex Handlebars. The only reason I can actually clean up this spilt beer is because my wrists don't hurt because I had Flex Handlebars on today. Of course, there's Climb. I'm very comfortable right now because I'm wearing a nice warm Climb flannel and a beanie. Their casual wear is actually really awesome. I'm not wearing my Climb casual pants right now, and I'm noticing that the ones that I'm wearing don't fit as well. So thanks to them for doing that. Bulletproof Designs. You missed our show. If you missed our show last week, you can hold it up. The new Bulletproof Designs wooden front disc protector, Jimmy Lewis edition.
It's actually a survival tool as well, right?
It's lighter than the aluminum one. It floats.
It
floats.
A
yeah.
Device, so it's a PFD. Right?
Yeah. So
and it also burns if you break down and you get cold.
Yeah,
Set
so
fire to this, but
thanks.
it's pretty trick.
I was surprised that they made it. We had a whole show we talked about this.
And if you don't know the history, it's because someone in this room, mostly to my right, two people, claims that he can feel the weight of a front disc guard when he rides, so he bashes them because it makes the bike, feel weird.
Okay,
There's all the extra weight and everything, and
I absolutely
is that not true?
No, there's some fact in that. I absolutely did feel it the very first time I ever rode with one. I felt it, and I felt like it affected the handling of the motorcycle I was on. And if I could get the cursor over here, I could fix some of the problems that we're having. Really minimal technical difficulties today. And Chris Real says, very cool on the Hall of Fame. Good job. Thank you, Chris. How long do I have? When can I stop accepting congratulations on this?
You never stop. It's just
never stop.
no, yeah. You just say thank you and
Thank you. Okay.
yeah.
Just be every time. Just thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That
Thank
was
you.
a big deal. And
Yeah, it was
a neat
huge.
event. Andrew was there.
I was
Jim
super
was there,
impressed.
I was there.
It was really
pretty cool.
Yeah, you could watch it on the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame. It's OMHOF, Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, and they actually had the show televised, video, and then they'll actually do segments for all the different inductees, and it was a pretty.
Can you watch the whole show? Do you know? Can we see your speech and all that?
It was a Facebook. I mean, yeah, they actually did a live show. I think the live show was on YouTube, and then they had some pre-show thing that was on Facebook. But their website has links to all that, and you can check that out. But yeah, it was a real honor to be inducted into that. That was pretty cool. I have to thank Johnny Campbell for. He was in that. He was pretty responsible for me getting in there because it's not just two-wheeled stuff. It's off-road in general. So they have people from the car and truck racing world, people from the industry, builders of, race cars and race trucks and land use. A lot of land use advocates are in there. It's pretty cool. Malcolm Smith's in there. Johnny Campbell's in there. Trying to think of the other.
Steve McQueen, James Garner.
Yeah, you have to look at the list.
Some big movie stars.
I can't remember regular people's names, only famous people's names. George, how come you're not in there?
Well, we know the only thing I can beat you at.
Flat track?
No, almost 2 years of not having a drink.
Oh yeah. He won't unquit. So
Can George take you in flat track?
Yeah, I have.
Mm-hmm.
He broke his ribs and he
I
retired.
remember laughing, seeing Jimmy on his back in the mud when we went to that class. Shout out to American Super Camp. Have you done that?
No. We have
It's a blast. You got to go.
Yeah, you've said that multiple times. We have Colin Edwards, his, I don't know what you call it, but I've actually done a race. It was super fun. But getting back to the Hall of Fame, I'm a big moto guy. I'm not a big car guy or car life. But in terms of off-road,
says the guy who is navigating in a UTV right now.
I get to hang out with my bike friends when I'm there. So no, I do like some of that stuff. I really like just rally in general. But because of this, I pay attention more and more to the off-road stuff and car life. And everybody was there. Like, I was super impressed with the event. The event in general was really high end, and it was really cool. They did a great job with it.
Yeah,
but the turnout.
You have to wear with like a suit and tie.
Yeah, when was the last time you wore a suit?
You look good.
I went there in 2017 because I was up for like an industry award. You know how they said those like that some of the other awards they get are kind of like the precursor to getting actually put into the Hall of Fame. So in 2017, I believe both Emily, my boss for Rebel Rally, and I were there for industry, and I think it was because we'd started the Rebel Rally. Well, she started the Rebel Rally, and I worked with her, but I also had been doing the King of the Motos event, and they were just recognizing like people that were doing different stuff. And
the question was just, when did you last wear a suit? So that was 2017.
2017.
Trying to keep you in track, and then you started talking about yourself again.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, but there was 800 people there. I would
Yeah.
say a majority of those people were people that race at a high level, right? Like,
Yeah.
or involved in the industry, or it wasn't just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to say quote unquote normal people,
No,
but
there's
everybody was heavily invested. Like, it was really cool to see the turnout and everything that went into it. It was much cooler than I expected.
Yeah, and I think I might have told you, Soren. What's his first name?
Pete. Pistol Pete.
Pistol
Yeah.
Pete. So before I came down here for this, fluent, within a day or two, I'm flipping through the channels. There's 500 channels and nothing on your cable, and I get this one that says some kind of racing, and then it said, Baja. Let's see what that was, and a bunch of that show was pretty current, and it was about Pistol Pete and his daughters. And he passed real sudden here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was a show about him, and his daughters were up there because he took his daughters down there and let them race a truck. And so it was all mostly about that.
Yeah.
And I thought, how cool. I mean, I kind of recognized him. He's got a unique look, with his glasses he wears and stuff.
Mullet.
But how cool is that? I'm sitting there, I'm going, this is a guy. It's kind of like when I met
Yeah.
you, because I don't really follow those industry thing. And I come down here and you telling me, yeah, you're limping. Oh, did you get hurt? And he told me, oh, Andrew Short's going to be here. I'm like, who the fuck's,
Yeah.
whatever, cool, and you're walking by the roundhouse, sleeping in your car, man.
Yeah.
And you go, you're limping. Oh, did you hurt your leg? He says, oh, yeah, I crashed in a race about 3 months ago. And then I'm kind of wandering around and Google Andrew Short. I go, that's that guy. I was just watching that in the car, Oh, that's that guy. It was pretty funny, but now I know you as a human. So
Yeah. Not as cool anymore, huh?
See what we do on a day to day. It's not a big deal. But anyway, so this show we typically will talk about motorcycle related products. Enough about me. I'll put my Hall of Fame medal on soon. I'll put that
Now. Just put it on now.
No, I wore it the whole night at the thing because you have to wear it there. And now I get to go every year, and I get to go there, and I get to wear that.
What are you going to do with that thing? Are you going to put it
It's
in
going to
a
go right here
frame?
on the wall. I'm going
he's
to cover
gotta
it.
wear it next year.
I'm going to cover it.
Oh,
well,
you wear it.
That's just
So you need a
wear
case that
again.
like you can open it and close it.
It'll just hang on the wall right here.
No,
with
it
all the other
cherishes
Cherish
ones.
that like he cherished that Costco bottle of tequila he's been sipping off of up there.
Yeah.
No, that's really expensive stuff.
No, I told you. I
did not- you did
it's
not.
all Costco. Since like a week after you got it, it's been Costco.
So yeah, well, San Felipe Bob he's trying to get to be our top chatter there. He said
well, he's the only one on.
someone needed a helmet. Well, I think there's people that are watching like something else that's going on tonight. I can't remember what it was. That's what we started the show with.
No, nothing important.
Yeah. So it's usually I can see there's a place I can see stuff like that here, but I'm on the wrong wrong button. I pushed the wrong button to see if this thing works. The internets are pretty slow here, but thanks everybody for joining in. Like I said, if you do have a question, you can put in the comments, and that's not the right one. So, okay. So what we're gonna do tonight, just to kill time, really, we're gonna go answer all the questions from our YouTube videos that we took a long time to get back to because I forgot that we had a YouTube channel. Either like this, how your wife told you that you need to get your social medias in order.
Yeah. I know how this goes. And the YouTubes.
It's a lot of work. It's to be one of those influencers. You can't do what we did today. How many kilometers did we do today?
I don't know. We did a lot.
Yeah, like 300.
300 something, yeah.
300 kilometers riding out on the dirt bikes. I like doing that. I don't like looking at screens. In fact, people are telling me I need to look at my social media for some reason to answer questions or something. So I'm just going to answer the questions on our videos on Dirt Bike Test. So if you are watching this video and you wonder, well, hey, 6 months ago, I commented on your YZ250 video and you never answered me back. I think Trevor should do all that work, but he doesn't. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to go.
Where are we starting? We're
going to start at the top. We're going to start at the top and work our way down. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat and we answer it immediately. But if you don't have a question, then you can when you watch this later or you're watching one of our other videos, you put it in the questions in the comments, and we probably will answer it on another episode of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
I'd really encourage people that are watching today to put in their own thoughts on some of these questions, because basically what you'll have is two expert professionals and an idiot answering these, and then you can put in your comment, because sometimes it sparks interest even from the professionals, right?
Right.
Actually, I was a professional motorcycle rider and paid very well. And
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. Okay, but so just like we promised, we always go to the chat first. And Chris Riddle has a question. He says a quick question. What's our quick question from Chris? Oh, you guys both can't read that?
Rekluse Clutch for adventure bike, Roost or Endo. I have an opinion. You were on a Rekluse today, but you definitely weren't on an adventure bike. But don't most adventure bikes kind of have that? Like the Africa Twin has the DCT.
Well, that comes stock on the Honda.
So is this a good thing or bad thing to have a Rekluse Clutch for an adventure bike?
I kind of am on the record to say Endo. No. On adventure bikes. And
really, it seems like it would be better on an adventure bike than an enduro bike. Explain this.
So if I'm adventure bike riding, I'm rarely doing like clutch intensive type stuff. I don't ride my adventure bikes like enduro bikes. I ride them like adventure bikes, which usually means going on nice, fun, flowing roads and out. And I'm not trying to do the Pol Torres stuff on my Tenere. That's not me. And so I don't have to use my clutch. My clutch, I use it when I come to a stop. And I mean, I hardly use it when I shift gears. But the one thing I do like to do on my adventure bikes is just lug. Go really slow in a tall gear at a low RPM. And the Rekluse Clutch by nature will let the clutch slip a little bit. And sometimes if you're lazy being in the wrong gear, I could be like in fourth gear going on a first gear speed, road, and the Rekluse will do all the work and let the clutch slip right until it doesn't. And sometimes I forget about that. And I mean, even today, a couple times, I kind of just slowed down and stopped in like third gear. And then when it went to take off, the bike goes, and the Rekluse is doing all the work. And it's like, and I bang a couple downshifts. I mean, it was a 500 that I was riding today, and it pulls it okay. But if you're on an adventure bike, those things make so much torque sometimes, the big twin cylinders and stuff, that you won't realize that you're in fourth gear, and it'll slip the hell out of the clutch. And those clutch don't take abuse. So if you want to be really lazy and you're aware of it, fine. But the other thing is I teach a lot of schools on my adventure bikes, and I need to demonstrate clutch work and clutch control. And you can't demonstrate it when the Rekluse is doing all the work. Like I can't stall the bike.
So do you have similar feelings with the DCT on the Africa Twin, or is this just a Rekluse thing?
The DCT does all the stuff the Rekluse does, and it shifts your gears. So in the DCT, if you slow down, it downshifts for you. It won't let you try to take off in fourth gear. I love the DCT, by the way.
Has it improved a lot? I rode it in maybe 2016, and what I didn't like about it is when I went to get on the gas for a rock or whatever, it has a delay. Yeah, it has a delay, and it just played tricks with my brain. So is this better now, or is it the same?
It's better, but still the same.
Is the Rekluse better in this situation?
No.
It still has a delay.
No, the Rekluse doesn't have a delay.
Oh, okay.
The Rekluse, if you're in the gear too high and you go to gas it, the bike will just bog.
Yeah.
So instead of like, well, the thing is you're so used to like, like with the DCT, unless you shift with your thumb, like just like right now, if you're on your regular bike and you're riding up to something and you knew that the gear you're in was the wrong gear, you would downshift and gas it. So you weren't given the opportunity to downshift with the DCT. It had to do it for you. And since it takes a second, and I after not riding the bike for too long, I started learning when it would shift. And there's all these different, with the Hondas, all these different shift modes, and you can kind of put them in like a more aggressive mode. So if it if it's lugging and you give it a little gap, right away it downshifts.
So, but without shifting too much to DCT, and the idiot has an opinion on this question. No, the Rekluse isn't going to be bad like that DCT.
Yeah.
It's going to give you just what you're going to put to it. If you're going to put it to it, it's going to engage.
What kind of bike does Chris have?
But my opinion,
A lot of
on
everything.
Why I don't have a Rekluse on my adventure bike is, very vertically challenged in the legs and everything, and I want that parking brake feature. If I'm going up a hill and stall it, I can stop and regather and figure it out. I don't want to screw around, with throttle and too many things like that. I'm fine on the clutch, so I don't ever put them on those real big heavy bikes.
And Victor gave us salute, and then he called us old geezers.
Sounds about
Thanks.
right.
And
Thanks,
before
Victor.
you go on to him,
Mitch?
Mitch, man, I haven't seen that guy in so long.
Yeah.
'Cause
Congratulations, Jimmy Lewis. And he says,
He
hey.
went full time.
Huh?
He went full time.
Full-time retired?
No. RV.
Oh, RV life.
RV.
life.
RV life, man.
Maybe he's going to start a YouTube
Is this
channel.
Mitch from Pahrump or different?
Yeah, Mitch from Pahrump.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So back to continue the Rekluse DCT auto clutch adventure bike question. So no matter what you're with your Rekluse, I always tell people it doesn't matter that you have the Rekluse in there. It's going to do all your clutch work. You still need to be in the right gear, because if you come out of a first gear turn in fourth gear, it's going to do exactly what you would do if you were trying to come out of that turn without stalling. It's going to slip that clutch until it's going at the right speed. So the Rekluse has nothing to do with the transmission speeds. You have to control your transmission speeds. You need to be in the right gear. The DCT shifts gears and has the clutching feature for starting and stopping, and or whatever you would do with your clutch when you're shifting gears.
KTM just doing one on one of their bikes now.
I don't know. I don't think.
They're in their big super duper adventure. They were doing something.
Did not read the press release on that bike.
It's a different thing. But what Chris also said is he has an opinion, and I always like hearing his opinions on stuff.
Yeah, Chris always has a good opinion. He's been on the show. He's a very well respected sound engineer, chemical engineer. Does a lot of safety testing on motorcycles.
Call Jimmy and just put it on speaker there. That'll be easy.
Right.
You right there in front of you, on the left, right on the table,
My phone?
right there.
Oh, this thing?
Can
It's
he
my
just
cat.
call you?
It's a picture of my cat's butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my screensaver is. Actually, she's looking.
You've never used like the Rekluse components and stuff, maybe, but no.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have Rekluses in most of my dirt bikes that I ride for personal stuff. The ones that I teach with, I don't have it in there, but I put them in a lot of my bikes. And there was a time when they got really good. There was a big jump. They learned something about the engagement and the way that they were engaging the pieces, and it really worked well on hydraulic clutched bikes to begin with. Just because the installation and the setting wasn't so tricky. And then the hydraulic clutch still allows you, if you want to use your clutch like a clutch, give it a little burst of power with the clutch, you can do this. Yeah, for adventure bikes, not so much. And so Chris says the 901 Husky where the Rekluse testing was done. Let's see. And it's comma. So we're waiting.
Stand by.
Stand by. Please hold. And then Victor, will using my decomp lever to engage the brake in downhills eventually break the XR400?
No, he's using it for engine braking on downhills.
2 engine brake on.
Do they do that on 4-strokes? Isn't that an old 2-stroke deal?
Yeah, if you
had a decomp thing on there, when you're slowing down, you pulled that, and it just
Initially,
made a big farting noise. Did you ever ride bikes like that?
initially the first 4-strokes that came out that I rode, they all had decomp levers.
that was for starting.
Yeah,
I don't think it does any. You would pull it in if I don't know what the pulling. And now I'm sitting here trying to think, what the hell are you trying to do? Because I've heard of people pulling the decomp levers in on the 4-strokes and causing some valve train damage, whether it held the valve open and the piston hit it at a high RPM, or then when they pulled it in, it affects something to do with the rocker, and then the rocker arm flaps up and down on the cam. Don't do that. What do you?
Well, one thing.
What are you riding an XR 400 for, anyways?
One thing you got to know is it's 7 something. Victor's in the bag. You know that.
Oh,
he's
really?
Typing. So he's one-handed typing because he's got a drink in the other hand. So you don't know what the hell he's talking about. And then he's saying it's a man bike, George. But yeah, isn't it mostly just for starting on the 4 strokes to get it around
it's to
where
get
you
it.
want
It's to get it right past top dead center and then make it easy to start.
Makes it easy to get the water out of there.
It makes it easy to bump start too. Yeah, it makes it easy to get water out when you drown your bike. But yeah, in reality, most of those bikes even had automatic decompression. So when the engine RPM went down to really low, it would flip on. The cam has to be turned at a certain RPM before that decomp goes away. That's why some bikes, they idle so low that they actually stall. So I think you should just ride that XR 400 off a cliff. They were great. That was one of my favorite bikes for the longest time because it did nothing well and never broke. And for that, actually, almost every one I sold, I still have an agreement with the person that still owns it that they have to sell it back to me. So
Do we violate HIPAA if we just mention to the people the tragic story of this weekend?
I don't know. Do we talk about that?
Well, I don't know. It's a bummer. His friends might want to know. There's a lot of friends.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Let's we don't have to worry about that yet. So, I haven't been told. I haven't been informed of
the latest.
Yeah. Exactly. And the chain of information hasn't been. So
okay.
I was not instructed on that.
So Chris says 80% roost, 20% endo. Easy to overheat the clutch if you get lazy. Great if you're on dirt road, flying, or stuck in traffic. I could see stuck in traffic, but I don't want to be on an adventure bike stuck in traffic. Clutch pull increased, he said. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder what.
Well, because they have stiffer springs. Like usually when you put a Rekluse in there, the springs that come with it are actually stiffer because they just have to do a little different kind of work, because they're actually pressing against the force of the clutch, the disc that's doing all the work. So if you ever go to override it, you've got to override those springs and something else. So
I know they make them for Harleys even.
Yeah, they're popular with that, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, those guys, they put they turn them into tricycles too.
So there's some of that.
So
but Rekluse stuff is I don't know, just how they manufacture everything is so nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Not just manual clutch.
And their customer service, you can call them up, talk to a human, and they'll walk you through it and real responsive.
I just know from the racing side, like all their stuff. You always think Henson for just a normal clutch, not the Rekluse stuff, but the Rekluse products has been really impressive.
Yeah, I think people overlook how important the clutch is as a tool, and I think especially with the high level motocross racing and stuff, it's all about the start, like the feel and the grip, the way that the bike grips off the start. That's a lot of clutch tuning in there. And then, people that are hard on clutches, there's things you can do with the materials in the clutch and the same springs and stuff like that. And, good on Rekluse 4 constantly developing that because they're on the EXP. I think it's 4 now. And the new one was kind of meant to work better at engines that have lower clutch speeds. And
what kind of bike is that?
2-stroke KTMs.
Okay.
Yeah, because the clutches were spinning a little bit slower, and the feel wasn't all that good on those. It was fine on the 4-strokes, and they actually went in and kind of looked at 3 previous designs and said, "Hey, we can make this better." And the new one is I was blown away. I was literally blown away by the leap of performance between the 3 and the 4. I actually had a 4 in my bike that I was riding today. And because usually when like I said, I stopped a couple times in 3rd and 4th gear and took off, usually the bike would stall then.
Yeah, I heard it going good.
Yeah,
and that's why I knew you were riding a Rekluse today.
Yeah, because I was being lazy, dumb. And the old one would stall because it's not as smooth engaging. And that thing is crazy good. But yeah.
Hey, for a minute, pretend I'm Kyle McCoy.
Okay.
Just pretend I'm Kyle McCoy. And I'd like to ask you, Andrew, what's your favorite location that you've ever ridden a race?
My favorite place to race is in Colorado, but those days are long gone. My favorite place to ride, or the thing that blew me away the most, was South America for Dakar. It's like the whole time it was Wild West, but you're riding in places that felt like you're in a movie. Like they weren't real. Coming down dunes that were so steep and so long, felt like you were skiing, like, a ski run. It was just endless.
The dunes on the coast in Peru?
Yeah, we were in a canyon. We just went all the way down to the bottom of this riverbed. Places like that were mind-blowing. And also, Silkway was pretty cool. Russia, China, Mongolia, or Mongolia, China. But we went by like some really cool like World Heritage sites and crazy stuff. Places we shouldn't have been riding our dirt bike.
So
those were cool.
In a race, like your level, not necessarily a lower level like Jimmy's or something. And certainly not like mine, where if I'm going,
When are you going to grab your medal off the wall and start wearing your medal around your neck, George?
Oh, no. It belongs in this museum. But anyway, are you able to look around and take in the scenery? Or because I know when I'm riding at anything that I think speed, I'm looking at like a 8-inch circle about 5 feet in front of my front tire.
Yeah.
So
imagine that with like navigating. We did roadbook, cap, Odo, and all that. You look up, you're like, well, that's really cool, but I can't look. Yeah. So no.
But you see cool stuff. I mean, you don't get, but even when I'm here riding in the States and I'm riding like by cool stuff, I don't stop. I just ride right through it. And I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah. Well, you're a different deal because you're riding through the desert at 60, bouncing over stuff. You go, oh, there's change on the ground, and slam on the brakes and go back.
Well,
there's a toe strap. Holy, this is good.
What did you see in the desert today? I saw a lot of stuff.
What did I see?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I was navigating, so I'm trying to think. Okay, so here's the hard part about seeing easy, slow, sippy. It's a sipper. It's a really nice one. Like that was what did I see anything cool today? I mean, because I've been a lot of those places before. Did I see anything? I made a lot of good lines.
You did make some good lines. I was impressed. In the Matrix, you had a really good one. You opened your turn up. I'm like, dang, and he cut it. And your apex
Ricky
was
style.
just inside.
Yeah.
None of my lines were that good today.
I made some good lines in the desert. That's what I said. I felt them. I felt the
you
lines.
laid it down and you knew I was going to see it too. Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
I had a cut. Yeah. But
no motocross guy can like relate to that because we're just riding a stupid road and whatever. It looks dumb. But when you're navigating and you see all this stuff and all this setup, like for me now, I see that and I'm like, dang, that was all. Like I was impressed,
Yeah.
But you tell a normal motocross person and they roll their eyes.
Okay, but
that was good.
But on a motocross track, you see when guys take. I mean, maybe you don't see I actually see the physical line. Like I'm riding around a track and I see where a guy went like outside and used the bump to start his turn and cut across the inside. And I'll see that, or I'll watch. It's more impressive to actually watch, but to see, when you're talking about these lines, like I've always kind of had a fascination with just kind of trying to find a better line and things. But yeah, I left a couple down today. When those guys go on the road book, and they see the road book, they're going, "Who did that?" Because I see them all the time. Like when I'm out, like even today we were riding through that one canyon. It's like, hey, some other guys that were hoofing it went through here. Yeah. You can just tell the lines,
Yeah.
And I remember when I was racing in Baja back in the day, if I was behind some guys, I could tell like how much time I was making up on them just based on, when I'd see their line kind of go off the road just a little bit, or I'd see it fishtail and I knew I was hooked up and going straight in their fishtail. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's some time. So that's kind of the cool thing.
The best is when you hit a dune going super fast and you can see where everyone else landed and you know where you landed. You're like, yeah, I went the furthest. Or sometimes you're like, man, exactly what you're saying. You're like, oh, I better start like stepping it up because these guys went way further.
As fast.
Yeah.
Chris Alamangos, he's a wog from Australia. He has a question.
On a lot of the Japanese adventure bikes, is the stock suspension good right out of the box, or do you need to upgrade to different aftermarket shock, fork internals, and or can the stock suspension be revalved to work better?
So if you believe or read the internets, or most journalists that like to tell you how they just smash their adventure bikes, they're going to tell you that you need to do something with it.
Okay, so your T7, what do you do?
Mine was stock for a long time, and I was really happy with it. But since I do some work with TourTech on helping them develop some of their stuff, I switched over to their stuff. And
what's their stuff? Springs, settings, internals?
My front fork is a stiffer spring and different weight oil.
Okay.
And a different oil height, and then they had two different shocks. They had one that was I'm gonna mess up the names and stuff like this. I think one was like Tractive shock, and the other one was I'm not really sure of the name off the top of my head. But we went back and forth and tried some stuff and got a really good setting. And the only reason I stiffened up the front was because I wanted to match what was going on with the rear. So so the answer is, if you ride it like an adventure bike, it's going to be fine. But and I always tell people, if you're bottoming out your adventure bike, you're riding it too fast. It's not that the suspension is okay. Well, try driving. Like if I take my truck, my just Dodge truck, and I go drive it out to, let's say, the dry lake bed, and I drive it as fast as I want to, it will bottom out. That's too fast for that truck. If I had a Ford Raptor, I could probably drive it, what, George? Ford Raptor guy. 30% faster? 20% faster?
I remember one night we were coming back on some road and you're half asleep and you wake up, one eye comes open and you go, yeah, I'm driving my Raptor and he's sleeping. And he goes, yeah, on this section here, I'm usually going about 70. And I'm like, yeah, we're going 95, Jimmy.
I think upgrading your suspension is more safety than it is comfort, though, on an adventure bike, right?
Yeah. And but that's what I did with the TourTech stuff, is I didn't want to lose the comfort of the stock stuff, but I wanted some increased bottoming resistance. And the one shock, the first one that we did, gave it way better bottoming resistance, but it wasn't as comfortable. And I had to run, and then we're actually running a stiffer weight fork oil with it, and a little lower oil level to kind of match everything out. But then we got the second shock, and it was it had that stock comfort and free moving, just without being wallowy. But I think most of them, even that, I did the Honda Transalp, and that was pretty comfortable.
That's surprising. That looks like more of a lower,
really soft, really. But Jim rode it. You rode it, George.
Mm-hmm. Johnny's been riding it. I saw.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, and of course, yeah. Johnny wants to stiffen it up and do all this stuff. Yeah. He'd like to do one that he can ride a little bit harder, but we all kind of know that that's expensive, and then it kind of depends on the components. And I know on the Tenere, for instance, and even on the KTM adventure bikes, those components are pretty good stock. The componentry, on most of the KTM adventure bikes, but the componentry, the Yamaha is just like 1990s YZ stuff.
Yeah,
there's nothing
pretty basic.
Yeah, nothing fancy in there. So a guy that knows how to valve and knows how to spring and all that stuff can make that stuff work. But you can also buy $4,000 shock and $2,000 fork internals. I
saw Bradshaw has some crazy forks and shock on his bike.
Oh, dude, his bike is
done up.
Done up. I wanted to ride it. I should have rode it. He would have let me. But I would like to ride it to see how comfortable it is, because I almost be willing to bet. Well, he likes to smash it, I think, a little bit too.
Yeah.
He always wants to. He wants to go ride, like, I don't think he wants to go Paul Torres, but I don't think he wants to go Jimmy. I think he wants to go in the middle. I think
he basically trail rides his
Tenere.
Yeah. That's what he does in the mountains.
Yeah, I know, and I know where he rides. It's not really. So,
but that was your perfect opportunity to say, "Give me your weight, take your shocks off, your fork and your shock off, send it to Jimmy with $2,000. I'll put the right springs in it, change the oil, and set everything up in the middle and send it back to you. It'll be my magic recipe.
This guy, Chris Alamangos, he's seen my garage before. We used to race XR 100s together, and we're both like, as far as like fabricators and makers of things, Sano, me and Alamangos are right there side by side. So he probably would do that, but it wouldn't come with $2,000.
Did you say making things Sano?
Sano, yeah.
So you're insulting this guy that you're side by side with him?
No, he did. It's a what do they call those kind of comments that are backhanded?
I got one for you.
Okay.
TJ said, "Congrats on the Hall of Fame, Jimmy." What do you say?
Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? Carrie commented I'll have to review the tape.
Oh, review
with Logan in the room. The first thing out of your mouth when you got up there was and Logan should have shouted, "That's one." Because you used to talk, that's two, you know.
What about AVS levers? I've heard of ARC or ARC.
ASV.
Yeah, is that a typo?
Kent, yeah, I think it's a typo there. I think Ken actually said congratulations back here someplace. I saw that earlier.
ASV,
congratulations on your recognition of achievements. I don't want to talk about myself much, but all that riding probably gave you some numbnuts.
Personalized it.
Yeah. So, okay. Where are we at here with the
ASV levers?
ASV levers.
ASV is a company, isn't it?
Yeah.
ASV is.
They used to make the
AVS. Yeah.
It was the
They've changed.
So
right?
there's the two. There was the two. It was ARC.
Yep.
And ASV. They merged in the same company.
Maybe, I don't know, but I know a lot of the race teams used to use these companies to get whatever bin they want, or there was many options.
Yeah,
AVS is just a Chinese knockoff, right?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. There was two. There was two guys that were making doing levers, and I think it was Bob Morales. Remember Bob? Yeah. Bob was the most rocket science, just about levers and pivot points and the shape and I remember just talking.
They were awesome.
I remember talking to him. Yeah, I loved him too.
But he completely stopped, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think he sold some of his designs or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But I remember just talking to him about levers one time. I think we were at a 4-stroke national or something, and he was looking at something I had on one of my janky bikes that I slapped together, and he went and made me a lever because I wanted a really small diameter on the front brake, and he's like, oh yeah, he had this kind of. He goes, yeah, I know this, and he gave me a lever. It was awesome.
He used to make all the factory Honda levers when I rode there, and I think you see Jet Lawrence with those super short levers, so they don't touch on the tough blocks and stuff like that, and they run them really far in. They can do some cool stuff, but I think it depends on your bike that you're riding. So an ASV lever on a KTM maybe is a lot different than a Yamaha, just depending on what you said, how big the window is, and how there's a lot of different factors.
Yeah, they would change. They would change, like I say, where the bend is, like how they could adjust them in different ways. Whether you're adjusting the engagement point or how the pivot works on them.
Yeah, that's why I say the window is different with the engagement point on different bikes. So a KTM is completely different than a Yamaha or a Honda, so I think it kind of depends on.
I know more than half a century ago, I had a Yamaha when it was yellow crew and not blue crew, and I bought these composite levers.
Yeah,
and so what that resulted in is, when you pulled that front brake as hard as you could, the lever would just bend back again there, and the thing would even slower grind to a halt without anything happening with it. But yeah, they flexed around.
Bob would do that.
I don't think they were out very long.
Yeah, well, Bob does that. He would do it out of composite first because it was way cheaper, right? So just like this awesome product by
the balsa wood.
Yeah, it's made out of balsa wood. Yeah, instead of CNC'd aluminum. Bob would do that for levers. Yeah,
it's a personal flotation device as well as
that thing's a trophy, is what it is. That thing is sweet.
Grind a little off and start a fire if you need to.
Special edition. So we are sipping nice. We're sipping a Don Cayo tequila, and it's it's the Blanco. It's not bad, huh?
I never sip tequila. So
you don't
it tastes good.
Yeah, it's good. Sipping tequila there, Victor. So, okay. Please ask Andrew what race made him the most nervous at the start line of his entire career. It's from Kyle McCoy also.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he listens live. I love this guy.
Yeah.
I've done some good riding with Kyle.
Kyle. You think Kyle would have like there's one screen with foreign stock markets up.
Yeah.
One with that whatever that other thing that's going on.
He's always living life too. I feel like he's not on his phone.
The other thing that's happening tonight.
Well, my mom was Japanese and she mispronounced things. She'd say the erections tonight.
Okay, the erection.
And that's a true story.
and then there's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday.
True. Yeah.
So okay, what's the most nervous race?
I don't know. Anytime this sounds really bad, but I don't get nervous before like motocross races anymore, which tells me I probably shouldn't be racing, but they're just local races or amateur, like the amateur nationals or whatever. But I just don't care anymore. So that's bad.
How is it to race in those local races? Because you're always that guy. The rest of the humans are going, oh,
yeah, but I get
that
smoked.
Guy.
Yeah, I get smoked by kids now.
You know how big that makes them feel, though? That's good.
Yeah, it's
for
fun.
them. Keeps the industry alive.
Yeah, they're basically about as old as my own kid. It's bad.
Ere you nervous when you knew I was going to be behind you today?
Not one bit.
Oh,
Not one bit?
No.
Did I would catch you?
Well, I guess. You're probably faster than me in the desert big time, especially here.
I have that track log.
No.
It's got same point, same minute, and everything. Andrew, 51 miles per hour. Jimmy, 30.
I had a flat tire.
Yeah, you did have a flat tire.
I had a flat rode the last 40 miles with a flat tire. Hey, you go analyze some other points. I'll show you the one turn where I made that turn. I know exactly where it's at. I probably had 7 to 10 miles an hour around that turn.
I had a Sharpie in my hand all day, so I wasn't going very fast.
So,
do you want 10-way oil on the Tenere?
No. Did you went to 10-weight oil on the 10? No, actually, Victor, I went to 7-weight. We started with 10 with the stiffer stuff, and I went back to 7 because 10 was too much. It slowed it down way too much. So
and then it just gets hacky, like sticking.
Yeah. So which one race made you the most nervous?
I don't know.
Start line. You don't remember?
No, I don't. No. I used to always get nervous. That was the best part about racing. Then everything else disappears when the gate drops, and I don't know.
Yeah,
I just love racing. I don't know. I never put much thought into it about getting nervous. Yeah. If you're nervous, that means you care. And the person to the left and to the right of you, they're nervous also. So just smile and be happy and be thankful you're racing and know that.
And then the gate drops and you're going to take everybody out when you get a chance.
That's right.
Block them.
That's right.
Clean them out.
Get to that checkered flag as quick as you can.
This is why I don't race anymore. Yeah. People say, hey, how come you don't race? And
yeah, but I just let people by. Like if they're faster, I just wave them on by. Let's go.
Oh, you wave them by to make them feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like to make them work a little bit for it. I guess
I do a little bit if I'm feeling it, but usually not feeling it very long.
Dave Scott, what does Dave want to know?
50th anniversary of the Moose Run, Bill's last year. Are you coming?
Do you know what the Moose Run is?
Nope.
So it was probably the original extreme enduro in the United States. It was a guy named Bill Gussie. And I think it's in Illinois or Indiana. I don't know exactly. I got invited to it a bunch of times and I just never could do it. And it was just a hair scramble, but it was pretty gnarly. Lots of mud bogs. They would go over big logs and through some pig shit. A lot of pig shit, I guess.
Super evidently. Rowdy. It sounds like. But
yeah.
50th anniversur. That means must have been legit.
That's a long time. Yeah.
So that's 74, right?
And it was back when they started doing this, like the top guys would not go to it because
they were scared.
Well, I think they were a little scared because like some guy could come out of the woodwork and beat him because he was better at throwing his bikes over logs and doing stuff like this. So good up to Bill. I mean that race, like for sure, I wanted to do it, and it did inspire me to want to do things like King of the Motos. So
next one, congratulations on your Hall of Fame induction.
Thank you, Craig. Hill. Yeah, appreciate that. Chris Alamangos, you can't insult me.
He's been revalving stock shocks and that Yamaha with the old technology. I upgraded the piston. Good job. We have new valving and he moved something. It works amazing. Half the price of aftermarket shock. Good job.
Okay.
Most of the stock stuff is pretty good. If you put, springs, oil, it should be in the ballpark for your weight if you get it right?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of art in shock valving. You know, there's a lot of different ways to do different things and set it up, and so it doesn't surprise me that he could. Do you want? I got my stock stuff. You want to give it a shot, Chris? I can compare it to my stuff. That's Jerry's book.
Dude, I didn't realize. I saw Jerry Bernardo at the Hall of Fame thing. I had no idea. I'm saying this as a compliment.
Yeah.
He looked so good. I'm like, that can't be Jerry Bernardo. But I grew up watching Jerry Bernardo like on VHS, interviewing all the riders, shirt off, just getting in there. He was crazy. And the guy I saw
Still crazy.
that was there probably for you. No, dude, he looked too normal to be Jerry Bernardo. I wish I would have said something. I feel so bad now.
Oh.
But I love that guy.
Yeah,
and all of his stickers he does. I mean, he's exceptional. And
are you in the club? Do you run a sticker?
No, I'm not in the club.
You want to be in the club?
I have tons of his stickers hanging up, in my shop.
I'm
gonna
have to put one on your helmet, and then you're in the club, and you can't.
There's even some dude in Texas that's buddies with him. DK.
And then he probably has a special Texas sticker.
He has a Hawaii one. He has all kinds of them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the Nevada representative. Yeah. I get to dish out the Nevada stickers.
What is this book called about? Coffee brewed with. This is his
Graveyard Mist. Yeah, it's to give you nightmares. We are going to start reading passages.
Hey, Lyle love it.
Yeah, Lyle likes Jerry. So Victor says, I surf the washes near someplace with the grace of a ballerina while pinned in fifth gear. Used to, maybe, allegedly. So, okay, we're going to go back to our YouTube questions. I'm sure we'll get more comments in here. Do we VintageWorksMX.com?
Yeah, he tagged them.
He tagged. Are you working there, Chris? Are you VintageWorksMX? Usually he was like JunkWorks MX. Like they were him and his brother were motocross action test riders. Just because they were always around, and Jody started giving them bikes to go ride. They were orange helmet guys, and then they would go to the junkyard, or he'd be painting a house, and they'd have a motorcycle leaning on the side of the house, and they'd say, "Just take it," and he would take it, and he would show up with it and race it the next weekend.
Wow.
So, okay, what was the thing? Okay, so what does David Grunk Lee 8407 say about our 2025 YZ250F first test impression?
Just install a different map. Lugging issue solved.
That is the cool thing about the Yamaha.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
Their app is incredible. I'm not saying
Makes
that
a big difference.
just because they're a sponsor of the show. I use it a lot.
I used the old one. They have a newer version, right?
Oh, the new one goes to like a whole nother level.
Yeah, I don't want a whole nother level. The old one was awesome.
Well, no,
so
they actually made it easier. They have a scroll bar where you can just add like traction control or add, as opposed to making all the little adjustments.
KTM one's similar with the scrolling.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. It doesn't.
Dude, the one I have works with power.
Oh,
and
really?
D-cell, yeah.
Oh, huh. Yeah, because the one
KTM's doing the same app now?
Yeah.
When
they have the
Since when?
CUO unit. It goes on the front fender. It came with the factory editions, and you can buy it as an add-on for your current bikes. It works, but it's really simple compared to Yamaha.
It's super simple, and I should clarify that it didn't work for me because when I tried the different things, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Like, yes, for sure the D-cell worked, but I didn't have a problem with it. Like, I didn't really want to. I do that with my idle adjust. Like, I'll if I feel like there's too much compression braking, I can do a little bit of stuff with.
And you couldn't tell any difference with acceleration. What bike were you riding when you?
It was on a 450. I think.
And you went from 3 to 5, and you couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah, but it did it in the wrong place.
Yeah, I agree with that. It didn't add any connection. It just did from mid to top.
Yeah. So there's where the Yamaha, I can say, here, I'm picking this zone and I want to do it here. And if it doesn't feel like it's exactly there, I can move it and try to see if it gets there. Because sometimes you think you're at a different throttle position or different RPM than you're at. And this is like, since KTM has gone to fuel injection, if I were to sit down with whoever's like the main guy doing the programs and stuff, and I may have had some interaction with some of these guys at time over time, we think completely different. Like what they like to see on a map and how they describe it is not what I feel.
Yeah.
but that could be said for anything, because sometimes they, even like sometimes they give you an aggressive and a smooth map, and the smooth map has a big gnarly hit in it.
Yeah.
Like, and the aggressive one is really torquey and smooth.
Yeah.
So, anyways, David, thanks for bringing that up. Let's see. Do you know about Trevor and his this buddy, his friend of his? I can't remember the kid's name. I won't ever remember it. They did the Big Bear trail ride on the KLX 300 and the CRF 300L. So
wow,
it's
that's a gnarly ride, right?
It's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, I have my old California neighbor's done it. Gothic J has done it many times. I think there's a couple gnarly rocky climbs.
Yeah. And
to do that on a TW 200?
Well, no, they did it on the 300. Now
sorry.
this guy is telling him, Jackham 108 says, pretty huge rocks, kept the front end light with a lot of momentum, amazing. Let's see, I challenge someone to commit this on a TW 200. That would be something.
Okay.
I have the KLX and the TW, and I've always been a ride a small bike hard mindset. It really takes skill to keep up. Let's see.
Isn't a TW the fat wheel thing?
Fat wheel thing, yeah.
But those are great to have like in places where there's not good gas and stuff like that. If you're riding it in South America or Africa, and you can clean them. They just always run, yeah.
TW 200 or any of those little bikes, carbureted ones.
Yeah.
Stuff. Let's see. I don't know who Dave Bowman is. He's in the background of says Jeremy Slug. Let's see. 2024 YZ250 Up setup tips. What is JE27606?
When trying to put in figures of the map, the numbers keep jumping after every next number I set it to. Am I being stupid or missing something? But yeah, this is confusing. It's on the old one, it was hard to do the grid.
On the handheld thing or in the phone?
In the phone. Is that what he's talking about or no?
I'm guessing that's what he's talking about. I read that earlier and I couldn't even understand what he was asking.
But I think that's what he's saying, because I've done that before as well. It took some time. It wasn't very user-friendly.
To learn how to highlight them and then up and up and down them?
Because on the grid, as you're adding, it's really difficult.
Huh.
But once you figure it out, you're like, okay, it just takes a little bit of common sense and playing around.
It's like anything. I touched your computer. You have an Apple computer this morning. When I scrolled your scroll wheel, it goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
And when I push the button, it goes the wrong. Everything's
it was
wrong.
backwards.
It's like anything. If I used it for a day, I would learn all this stuff. 2025 Honda CRF 250R Works Edition. MX Engineer 1 says.
Good insights, Trevor, on the new Works Edition. Got quite a few rides on mine so far, and it feels like one of the most overall refined dirt bikes I've ridden. Engine, chassis, suspension just work so well together. Congratulations on your recent Best in the Desert win. Ride Red.
So I think this guy, I know
MX
him from, he worked at HRA.
Oh, yeah?
Or he does work at HRA, or he worked at Honda Development, but long time ago. So I think he's bleeding.
It's cool that they're doing a Works Edition. You know, from the amateur side with my son, all these bikes are legal in the limited class, the stock class. So KTM's always had one, right? Because they have the factory edition.
Factory edition.
So now Honda has one, and I think
the factory edition is just like an early release of the
KTM, but not Honda.
I think they started doing it, especially with the KTM, because they were changing chassis, and they could get the chassis homologated with that release. And the Honda one, I rode their first 450, the Works Edition, and it was really good. I mean, it was whatever they were charging above, and I think this one's $2,300 more than a standard one, which is that's a little bit of money.
Pricey.
But the Honda that you got I think coated suspension. Everything inside was the same, but the coatings were good on it. And then you had
18 mil shock shaft too, right?
Yeah, on the 250 they went to the bigger shock shaft, so it's better. Yeah. It's even there. But they did they did a little bit of head work to it, and then it had maps to match. And I thought that thing was
exhaust.
Yeah, and it came with an exhaust.
Handlebars, grip, a lot of things.
Yeah, so Scott Allenberg, 3575.
Curious about your thoughts comparing the PR7, which I assume is in the same.
It's AJP.
Oh, okay. Versus the Kobe 450 for BDR type terrain plus a little more technical terrain. So backcountry discovery type?
Backcountry discovery routes.
Yeah,
so,
type terrain.
So he's looking for the unicorn. This is I'm looking for the unicorn question. I don't know, it's like I don't want a twin. By saying those two bikes, he doesn't want a twin cylinder bike. He wants a single cylinder bike.
I get that.
So the more you're going technical, the more you're going to like the 450, the Cove. And the more it's open roads, you're going to want the PR7, which is it has the old Husky 610 motor in it.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger, torquier bike. It's a little heavier bike. But on a BDR terrain,
you need fuel, right? So
yes,
the Cove would have way more fuel.
The Cove would beat it there. A PR7 would probably make any BDR section. It's got like a 4.5 gallon tank.
What's going to hold the most luggage and still handle good? They gotta be the same.
Oh boy,
because you got to carry a tent, supplies.
Yeah, right. And that's where all of a sudden
caring
you really
more about technical terrain for sure. The
450,
450 is better.
Yeah, and I did not load up the AJP, but I did load up the Cove, and we rode it back from Washington, and it was fine. But
it seems sketchy to ride the BDR and getting parts. Like for both of those bikes, they don't have a dealer network that can support. Like if you needed something quick, say you need a fuel pump, where are you getting a fuel pump for a PR7? And you're on the backcountry discovery.
You're not going to. Well, I mean, probably same with the Cove, or even you could probably call the importer and have them next day to you. Would be your best. You think
importers have that much stuff?
Yeah, yeah. These guys do.
That's cool.
But I mean, the way the world is now, I don't even know that you could get a Kawasaki part or a Honda part.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no dealers on these things. I wouldn't, if I thought my bike was going to break, I wouldn't do
the BDR.
A BDR, or I wouldn't go ride my bike if I thought it was going to break. People say that's kind of weird because they look at my bikes and they say they all look like they're going to break, but we
have a new BDR route in Texas. Do you see that?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
What part?
Southern, isn't it? Kind of southern Texas.
Terlingua.
It's a BDR X route, isn't it? Is that what they call it?
I'm not sure. I'm not very educated on all that. But
Me neither.
I was stoked to see it. It's kind of by El Paso out that way.
I can honestly say I've never done a BDR.
Really?
I helped design the Nevada one, but every time I've attempted to go do one, I get ADD and I go someplace else.
Yeah.
I've never completed a BDR. I've kind of started where they start and finished where they finished, but I didn't do it. So
the Cove seems like a cool bike.
It's really cool because it has the same size tanks as the bike you're riding. Yeah, it's big and it goes 400 miles or something crazy we got on ours. But it runs like a 350.
Yeah.
But ours was the emissions one, and
they have a new version that just came out or something, right?
Well, now they got a twin cylinder one. They have a really
that one looks like a
really light twin cylinder one. Yeah, your buddy
that.
Mike's riding that thing all over the place. He was Factory Cove guy.
Really?
Yeah, Factory Cove guy. Riders Oregon says he's talking about our Tech Talk show.
70s bikes. That's either awesome or maddening. I don't know what he's talking
70
about.
Bikes.
Or
Jimmy
70
has
bikes?
70.
Oh, yeah, he does have 70 bikes. You go in his shop, there's bikes lined up everywhere.
They all work, mostly.
I believe it.
They're working. They're in a state of working, or I know exactly what needs to be fixed. And the line to get in the shop right now is mind-boggling for even me. Like, I'm going to have so much content for my new show. It's just going to be tearing crap apart and fixing things.
What's Mike saying there? I can't hardly read that.
Well, dirt bike. What does dirt bike say?
Congrats, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm getting good at that, right?
Yeah.
Getting better?
That well.
Yeah, okay. Mike Spurgeon. This is Taco Mike.
Really?
Yeah. That's Taco Mike.
I didn't know his last name was Spurgeon.
Yeah.
That's cool. Jimmy, the most famous guy in moto. No. Best looking one, George. Yep. The smartest.
Oh no, he says
you mixed them up.
Jimmy is the most famous guy in moto.
Okay.
Shorty is the best looking one, and George is the smartest. There's nothing.
cool.
There's nothing true about any of those statements there. I don't think any of us will agree with you, Mike. You can you better create a
He's created a lot, dude.
a fake account to start giving us compliments.
He has
like
so
that.
much stuff on his site. It's wild.
Okay, George, can you see what Dirt Bike says? Can you read one of these questions?
I can't. Well, okay.
I'm squinting.
Appreciate your opinion on Racing Score that you shared on the last show. Having not grown up racing,
We don't want anybody to see you squint.
Yeah, I can't read.
I knew no better going down there this year. He says the Cove took me to Score, and I really enjoyed myself. But like you mentioned in your show, you're really on your own, and your life is in the hands of your chase crew every time you throw a leg over a bike in Score. Hopefully, with the turnout of guys Ironmanning this year, Score takes notice and will come up with a way to make racing with the trucks safer, or maybe a moto only dedicated by VCPs.
So I'll tell you, they are trying. I mean, there's a guy, Andy, that is working with Score trying to help with the bikes, but I'm just saying this is my personal opinion. I don't think that the person that's making all the decisions in Score even cares about motorcycles. I mean, yeah, getting some entries is going to help and stuff like that, but it's probably more of a liability than it is worth for them, in all honesty. And I know this just based on, when I'm doing stuff with Nora, like bikes don't make any money for the event. They don't bring any sponsors in. You're lucky to be down there. Let's just put it that way. And you having ridden the course, I'm sorry, first of all, but like even in San Felipe, they did have some bike only sections, and they're doing things where they're having cutoffs, and they're really trying to do this because, and I know a lot of the truck drivers, they don't want to encounter motorcycles because they're afraid they're going to kill you. And there's at least 70% of them that actually care. There's a few guys that don't care, and they're unfortunately they're rich enough to not care about it, and that's really sad. But I wish more bike guys would come and try to do Nora. And yeah, it's 6 days, and it's not just a one-day race, and you're not doing the Baja 1000, which I guess to some people is something that they really want to do. But I can tell you from all my racing down there, and when I did Score, I did not want to race that race. Never, ever did I. Well, I thought I did, and then I did it, and I'm like, I never want to do this again. And then basically I had to get paid to go back down there to do it. I loved pre-running. I loved Baja. I loved the people. And I loved riding around there when it was a brand new course that hadn't been torn up yet. Or when we got done pre-run our section, we would go find better places to ride to get back to where we were meeting our chase crew and do some exploring. But the race, forget it. They have nothing good to say about it because number one was safety. And number two, the courses were just beat to crap stuff that wasn't fun. So,
and didn't we talk about that? Most of that big whooped out stuff is a function of the suspension going so far advanced in those trucks and everything. Yeah. Is that what tears that
big
up?
Horsepower, big tires, big suspension.
And lots of pre-running.
If
they got rid of pre-running, I know that's half the fun and that's part of the appeal, but it would save
Wouldn't it be better if you just had a really good race course that you got to go drive on with rally notes?
Yeah.
But none of those guys, they don't want rally. They want to go pre-running. They want to take their buddies and then if you think it's just the racers that are pre-running, no, there's hundreds of people that go down there with their UTVs and go, hey, we're going to go pre-run the Baja 1000 course or whatever. And then after the race is done, we're going to go drive that course, and stuff just gets beat up. So it just happens. So anyways, sorry. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, trucks bring the money. Dirt bike knows. Okay. Tell Cove that they should be sponsoring an event like because I know they're throwing up money for the Score stuff. They should be getting behind the Nora because it's exactly what that bike was designed for. That's it. So back to the other questions.
Where does somebody learn how to navigate?
You go on YouTube
navigate
and you type
rallies.
rally navigation in there, and then you watch videos.
You find Jimmy Lewis.
No, that's when you have special needs. Then you come and see me. Kind of like, I have to wear a helmet sometimes.
Whatever.
You're special.
I was talking about it today with Jim or something. I wish you'd tap that whole market of people like me, squids that just want to learn it and teach them a little bit about it and take their money. But no, you want race professionals out here.
Right. Let's see. SMC Sumo says about the CD Crossfire 3 boots. Come on, Andrew, say it.
I can't say that.
Yeah, come on, say it.
No.
Just say it. I will help you. If you say that, I will help you out.
No.
Why won't
Awesome. He's under contract or something. Awesome review.
I have no contract,
The
but
Crossfire 3s
are the
SRS
best.
are the best. Is that SRS?
SRS?
Okay.
Andrew will 100%
Boot, yeah.
absolutely disagree with you.
Yeah, boots are like politics or religion. Like, you find what you like, and you're all in. I've always worn the same boots. I love them. I've worn the other
What
ones.
boots do you wear?
I wear Alpine Stars.
Yeah, they're
Like,
good boots.
You don't like them, right?
No,
You like 'em?
I like them, but they're not the best boots for me.
Yeah.
Actually, so I've worn every boot. Now we dirt bike test, we should really do a very in-depth boot comparison, because I've worn all the different boots and I can tell you why some are better than others for certain things. So I feel like the Crossfires are the best for the same reason that a lot of people hate them. Some people say they can't feel anything. They don't like the shape of the footbed. They don't like the way where it flexes, all the stuff. Well, guess what? For me, that's the stiffest freaking sole in the world. Doesn't bend a bit. My feet love those things because I only have 9 toes and I don't want to have 8 or 5.
Yeah. And for me, they're super flimsy in the ankle, and I need more like support in the ankle.
Because the ankle moves.
I don't want it to move.
It pivots. It has that hinge and it pivots really good. And but it locks out, and for some people, they feel like it goes a little bit too far before it locks out. For me, it's fine, but no, they're too narrow. The CDs for most riders, but they've improved that in the last generation of the boot. They actually made it a little bit wider because we're not all Italians with nice slim feet.
But I know people that wear them that love them, and that's all they'll wear.
Right.
And
mostly off-road guys.
Yeah, almost always.
Because
especially back east.
We smash our feet against logs and stumps and rocks and stuff all the time. And if there was ever, like I said, that stiff footbed also doesn't allow it to get smashed. And
it's
so
nice you can replace a lot of parts on that boot as well.
Right.
I think that's unique. And
the soles to replace, and I wear the crap out of my soles, and I actually wear the body of the boot out. I wear it out at the ankle, and they have a plate on there that I can replace, and it'll help some longevity. But hey, thanks for noticing that. So he's talking about the CD Crossfire boot review that we have up on the site. There's a video up there. So see, I don't just talk about, and they help me out, CD. Because now they have a new importer. And
really?
Yeah. Maybe you'll like them again.
No.
No, they have a new importer, and so they got me some boots because I tend to go through a lot of boots.
That's cool.
Let's see. Joe Lamps says, "You guys are badass." So he's talking about Trevor and his buddy. I can't remember the guy's name. Dude.
The play bikes with Big Bear Run.
Full bore boots on the KDX rider, and that was in our Rooster Endo segment. We had I could probably call that photo up. Let's see if I can dig that photo up. Let's see if it comes up in the show. That's the wrong one. Where's
that guy's getting jiggy.
Yeah, that was the winner. That was the winner of our Rooster Endo last time.
That guy is roosting for sure.
Yeah, so this is Victor. Here's full bore boots. We're asking about the boots and in this, and so
leather Holmans, right?
I don't know, but this guy said that's what they were, full bore boots.
Oh, full bore.
Because I think we talked about it because they have the leather stripes and stuff on there. That woke Jim up. Blast from the past, Jim. Look at that thing. This guy could have won our
Roosterendo.
He was close. We had three good things. If you're
Does
wondering,
Taco Mike still sponsor this?
yeah, he'll sponsor it anytime we want to do it. He says for life. So if you want to submit a Roosterendo, send it to my name at Dirt Bike Test, and we will do Roosterendos on this show as we see fit. I think we got some more comments coming in. Let's see. Travis Mahoney says, my fly rep told me back in the day that Shorty ran a $200 fly helmet. He's a badass. Not because of that, because he made the regular moto guy appreciate him more.
Okay.
You got to fly.
I always ran.
Around now.
Yeah, I'm fly for life. Kinda.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I always wore a production-based helmet, like nothing special. And I always wore, it was the formula pretty much, Fly Formula helmet from the get-go back in the day. And it was a nice helmet. When I first started wearing it, it was a big improvement of what I was wearing before. I had good airflow, carbon shell. It was nice. And I felt safe in it. And then their new helmet that came out.
The one with the Rion.
Yeah.
And the
I feel
stuff.
like this is all everywhere. Like it's a big improvement.
The last 7 years, the helmets have gotten so much better.
Yeah.
I wear climb helmets now, but I still wear a lot of different ones. I've worn the fly. I have a couple fly. My wife wears fly helmet.
Yeah.
Now, and just mostly because it fits. And so, just on a note, the cost of your helmet has nothing to do with how safe it is. I'm just going to say that as a fact, not just an opinion, because back when I was at Dirt Rider, we did a helmet test. And the one thing that didn't affect how the helmets performed was the price. The materials will affect the price, but we had some pretty low price point helmets that way outperformed helmets that were much, much more expensive. And so don't get hung up on the price. Get hung up on how it fits. So the fit superseded anything, because when we put the wrong size head form into a really good performing helmet, it didn't perform very well. In fact, it generally went way down. Like the jello inside your brain is going to get rattled if you have a helmet that's basically too loose. Too tight causes other problems, but most people will not wear a helmet that's too tight. It's actually really hard to do just because your head doesn't fit into it. But the other thing to consider, and this is just physics, F equals MA. Force equals mass times acceleration. The weight of your helmet, the mass of your helmet.
Mass.
Yeah, it's not just the weight, but also you say like when it starts spinning and all these other stuff, it adds some stuff. So heavier helmets as a whole, not individually, but as a whole, tended to cause the performance to go down, which meant the impacts went up inside the.
Which we all know, like when you crash and you do the like this, or when you land on your back and your head hits like that way. Ooh,
yeah,
it's that initial shock.
Yeah. So and there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes into helmets, but if you're wearing like a 5-7 year old helmet, get a new one.
And like what you said, price.
They're inexpensive. We had, I'm not kidding you, $125 helmets that were outperforming the $600 helmets at the time, and it was like, I know why. It had a lot to do with the materials, and some of the really expensive high-end helmets were also heavier and stiffer.
Yes.
And it had something to do with the testing that they were trying to pass, as opposed to the other helmet didn't need to have that certification. And we did a very off-road specific test, and with the impacts that are generally happen during off-road are much less severe than a lot of times what an on-road helmet is required. That's why most of the helmets I wear are ECE only. They're not actually DOT helmets, because DOT helmets are actually a little bit heavier.
And they're meant for just one impact, right? Like hitting a curb or something.
The Snell test was the one that had a double impact in a single location. So they hit the helmet in the same spot twice, and the other thing I'll tell you about helmets are disposable. If you use it, you need to replace it. And a lot of these companies, especially the ones that are smart and selling high-end helmets, if you have one of their higher-end helmets and you have an impact in it, you can send it into them, and they will tell you whether it's safe to wear again. And they will also a lot of times replace the parts that may have been compromised in the impact. So, kind of check check that stuff when you're doing that. Don't just buy a $200 helmet because Shorty felt that's what his head was worth.
Hey, but that's what's cool about Fly. Like, they have all that new technology, and they have it in the carbon one, but they also have it in the carbon composite, and like they have so many different levels of helmets. Where back in the day, it was either you had the super high end helmet or the like bargain helmet.
Right.
And now all these helmet manufacturers and companies, they have different levels, and for the most part, the safety is there. It's just a little bit of add-ons and features there.
Yeah.
But you can spend whatever on a helmet. If you
Remember
want
when
all the
helmet
bells
just
and
came in
whistles.
like red, black, and blue and white? Now you get factory designs, and
I
that.
think it's worse. Everyone used to have custom painted helmets, and no one has them anymore.
Yeah, but that was expensive too.
Yeah, but it was cool.
It was cool. Yeah, no, I mean, well, top guys still get their bitchin' helmets and stuff.
No,
done.
none of them do. They
Oh,
either
because they have
Red
to
Bull
they have
on
to
it-
wear a graphic, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
No one has a cool helmet anymore.
Formula One guys do.
Yeah, Formula
One guys do some stuff. Actually, I remember I thought there was a thing where they could only have a helmet a couple. They had to wear the same helmet all the time, but only a
Yeah.
couple times they were allowed an exemption to do. I don't know if that was with their team or that was through like
FIA, I
the
think.
FIA, something like that,
Yeah.
which was kind of crazy. But it seems like now they're kind of going all night. I mean, that's like they spend 20 minutes on those Formula One shows talking and showing all the kind of cool helmets that the guys get from the things. But that was kind of cool. I got some pretty cool. You know who used to paint my helmets?
Jerry.
Jerry was one of my helmet painter guys. Yeah,
I believe it.
I was never cool enough to get Troy to paint my helmets, but I had a lot of Bob's Crazy Brush was doing the Biafis back in the day. Yeah, good times. Did you have Troy paint your helmets?
I have a couple painted by Troy.
Yeah, that's cool. Jason Abbott, great to see Andrew on the show tonight. Thank you. Jason, thank you, Andrew, for coming. Actually, I forced him into coming in. He didn't know. Do you know you're going to be on the show?
Well, I was going to come over here to hang out, but
Right.
I'm like cross-eyed from riding. All tired.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I am.
I'll
getting
ride
old.
again tomorrow. Let's see. We got another one about the CD boot. Makawa Aviculture. Yeah, thank you. What does he say?
He's 73 years old. That's awesome. He's sending it.
Okay,
12
so
and a half size wide feet. He can ride comfortably on his KTM 350 EXE and his KTM 1090. So, two cool bikes. Sadly, after watching your recent video on the AGP P7, it looks like I am saying goodbye to KTM forever. Wow. At 73, which is mad props. I hope I'm still riding my dirt bike at 73. My focus is now comfort, much less technical skill, technical trails, and with the beautiful look of a rally bike. Now, because of my foot size, I will need to find a fabricator to mount the KTM rally pegs to fit the P7. Thanks, Jimmy. You are the best teacher, trainer, and mentor.
thank you. I'm glad I can
This guy's a
mentor
big fan.
a 73-year-old guy. Well, he is because he's talking about the boot review. He watched our AJP PR7 review.
Yeah, he's all in.
He's now I've made him kiss KTM off. I don't know if that's a good idea, but whatever.
Has he been to the school?
And the crazy thing is that the one complaint I have is like the CDs are narrow and he has a wide foot and he's saying that it fits him good. So maybe you better get his foot measured. So what did I want? What did I ask for today, Andrew? I said I wanted one thing from you.
Rally pegs on his bike.
Rally
He's
pegs.
sick of his pegs. I looked at his pegs and I just rolled my eyes.
Because they're moto pegs. Well, they're
No,
reg-
whatever. They're fine.
No,
You're doing fine.
I love the wide ones.
No.
I
He's
don't-
going to clip a rock and throw you on your head. You're that precise.
I'm that precise.
You have that much balance.
And you know how much more leverage I get on those foot pegs? When you thought I had those turns apex, if I had that wider foot peg, I could put that tire in the ground so much harder. I know this. So
Would you have stock pegs in your bike?
I don't think they were even stock.
no, they're IMS. They're grippy IMS pegs.
Yeah.
But on my new, so the KTM in 2019 they changed their foot peg style, and so I have a lot of older style pegs. But I can't get. I don't know why nobody makes the rally pegs with that mounting except for the KTM rally bikes. So hard to get. So
I might have a set for you.
okay, we'll see. Oh, you got a spare parts box?
Oh, I have to go look in the dungeon.
You're at your house.
Yeah, I have to go through.
Oh, I thought you might have had a spare parts box here.
No, the new rally bike.
That's a rental truck you drove here, right?
Yeah.
Those wheels and rims look good on my truck.
Bro.
His truck's going to be on milk crate when he tries to leave tomorrow.
Don't some people use those factory bikes for parts bikes anyway? Does that ever happen?
Factory bikes for parts? Oh, I don't know. These are the questions that we get. Donald Solerberg has a question for us.
He's asking about a Rekluse auto clutch in your video that explained this. Do they make a Rekluse auto clutch for a 2007 Yamaha 1900? I'm sure they do because that sounds like a Harley, right?
Do I look like a Do I look like a parts catalog?
Yeah.
Like just my YouTube channel, it just automatically answers the parts questions.
You must have fit the algorithm for this, dude, on YouTube. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I answer 9 out of 10 questions without referring to a reference manual, but that would be one of the questions that I would have to refer to a reference manual.
How about the
for.
2024 Beta 300 RR review that you did? This guy put great review. Is it really a good bike or just a good review?
It says great review. Well, so there's two things that could happen for Zoe Morrison here. Either he is a beta owner and he's looking for some affirmation of that, or he watched all the other media outlets that did horrible reviews.
Oh, okay.
And then he thought ours was great, which I don't know how that would have happened because it's just a regular.
But betas are good for off road, or
great. No, they're. I really enjoy them.
It's confusing to me because some bikes have KYB, other ones have like Sachs, or what do they have on them?
So they have Sachs suspension. So if you get the factory edition, the race rep factory edition, or what do they call them?
It's not the RR.
RR, yeah, race. Well, so they're called RR, but there's the more expensive one. Okay, it's the RR. You want some of this? Stuff's good. Pour one from him, George. Make yourself useful over there. You're being kind of quiet. Or have you been like behind my back sticking stickers?
I know what he's watching.
Tired and
He's watching
eyes
it.
are getting sleepy.
He's watching to see how his erection comes out.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a very important one.
The erection looks like it's still, I don't know.
So lots of colors.
We won't know for weeks.
Yeah.
You got some live comments too.
Okay, we got to get back to the live comments. So,
This guy says, congrats, amigo. What do you say?
Jeff Prost, thank you.
You know him?
I know who. I think you know me. I can't remember almost anybody, but it's just a name.
You know what he looks like on his dirt bike, his number, and what his helmet looks like?
And if I met him out in the desert, I'd remember where.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't remember who it is.
Yeah.
That's Travis Mahoney says,
living in Pahrump, watching factory. Yeah. Okay. Watching factory Honda. Andrew Short with you is amazing. Thanks for taking my last question. Hope to see you at the OHV meeting Thursday.
I will be at the OHV meeting on Thursday. We're trying to build a motocross track out here in Pahrump.
Oh, that's cool.
At the fairgrounds, full
Nice.
county, full county support, and it's just a slow, long process because we're doing it properly.
And Nevada, they don't have like OHV areas like California does?
No, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an OHV sticker program. They basically what they're doing is they're trying to, designate they're trying to get the BLM to designate a lot of trail networks and stuff, and then the state is putting in money for like municipal projects. Like ours would be a municipal project, which is I don't want to call it a motocross track. It's going to be called an OHV Experience Center.
Terrain park.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff there. They're going to have places for 4x4s to go crawling on rocks.
Cool.
But what we really want to get is kids track. We need a kids track. It's very important to us.
Skills area.
Yeah, skills area, and eventually have a regular motocross track and a vet motocross track that maybe the UTVs and stuff can go on the vet track on certain days, or side by sides, or it's all Travis will come to the meeting. He'll see me at the meeting. He come to the meeting and he can give public input. We take public input at every meeting. So,
Did you talk to him about that guy in that canyon today?
The guy in the canyon.
Yeah. That wasn't happy.
Oh, with a gun?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you should report that guy.
I'm going to
Because
inquire.
when something bad happens, you want that report on
the
file.
record on file.
with
Yeah,
somebody else.
Yeah, well, he's decided he wanted to shut down an OHV route, a legal signed OHV route. In fact, the sign is right at his gate.
Yeah.
and it shows it's open, and he wrote end. He put
it's
end.
Sharpied on there?
Yeah, it's Sharpied on there with a paint pen. And then we rode around, and when we kind of turned around and looked back up, and he was standing outside, and then we went a little bit farther because we're trying to figure out where it's like a road book. It's a really tricky nav section thing.
It's awesome.
It's a really good section, and I looked back up there, then he was standing up there holding his big gun. And I'm like, we don't want to make it. We're modifying, changing. So, yeah. Let's see.
Let's scroll through here and let's get the best question.
Save America 121 something says.
I don't see him. Love my TT 230.
TTT 230. That's an extra T in there. That's a Yamaha, by the way, and Yamaha is an amazing sponsor of this show. In fact, I think they're.
That looks like a good flat track bike.
Everybody else is legacy sponsors at this point because I haven't built them for a while. Double Take Mirrors, another sponsor of the show.
Yeah.
Ned. So this is the old one. This is the old. Have you?
I have a double take mirror on that bike I'm riding out there. I have the little pocket one. This one's awesome.
Oh yeah, when
one?
the zip ties on there, it's just a little like reflector thing. That's gets you through. It's legal. But his new mirrors, how could you make something this simple better?
Oh, he did the mount, right?
Yeah, the mount is crazy.
I haven't tried the new style. I only use the enduro style.
So I mount now my all my Voyagers and stuff. I switched them over to the one, not the one today, unfortunately, but I switched it over to his mounts because they don't slip. And my one today, you notice every time you saw it was pointing in a different direction.
Well, I didn't know if that was you were trying to hide it so you wouldn't cheat or.
No, but I cheat. That's the only way I can go so fast when I ride rally.
What do you mean it won't slip? Isn't slipping? You want it to slip when it hits the ground.
Yeah, it'll slip when it hits the ground.
But not when you're
not when it won't. It won't.
Loops.
Yeah, it won't bounce around. It's really good.
Ned's like one of the best human beings.
Yeah, if you're looking for a discount code on any of our sponsors, by the way, you can always send me an email. And hey, to all the listeners, the watchers of last week's show that I was supposed to send some stuff out, I got behind. I was a little preoccupied last week. I had to get abducted into Hall of Fame. So here, let me put this on as an excuse.
You got a cord on the side of your head.
A cord? Okay, yeah, it's a good. Maybe I can suffocate myself, and I want to. It doesn't fit over my big headphones.
You look good.
Here we go. Tyler Pilela.
Now, if only Yamaha would make a competitor to these button start 300s, I'd buy one in a second, as many others would. We're rating. It's kind of the same as like a KTM 350. If somebody else would make a 350, I think they would probably sell a lot of them. So,
yeah, I can understand why Yamaha keeps their YZ250 the way it is. Yeah, because it's a really good bike and it's really simple. Kind of like and like so even when you compare like the Beta 300 to the KTM 300, Beta has a carburetor. Beta has no electronic power valve, none of that stuff. Some people want this. And I think, Beta is just a very traditional, slow to react company. They make a good product and they just refine it. And then where KTM kind of like
they're trying to invent,
and make new things. And there are two different ways of accomplishing the same thing. When you ride them, it's a great bike. And I think, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people waiting for the Yamaha. I
love racing because you always are like pushing and trying to make things better, and that's what you go to bed sleeping or getting ready to go to bed and you're thinking about what you can do better the next day. And I love that. But there's also some merit to like keep it simple, stupid. Like sometimes you over engineer things that shouldn't be fixed.
Right.
So I don't know.
And if
to each their own.
If you were just went out and like were racing, like I'm thinking about the 300 two-strokes or even the 250 or 300 two-stroke, and I've ridden all the different ones. I think once you got going, they're all going to kind of do the same thing. It's just like which one sort of fits your.
It's like boots.
Yeah, it's exactly like boots. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat.
My kid has he's got to move to 125. If we go ride in the mountains, it's so nice to bring that fuel injected 125. Just show up, ride it, not have to jet it, anything. Right? Works awesome. But at the tippy top spear of trying to make the most performance there is, I think the old bike still has
what is Mike King 7388 say?
2024 YZ 450 FX project build. What do you build this bike for? Best in the desert?
Trevor, no, I think for the 24 hours at Glen Helen.
Oh, that's a cool race. I think it just happened. 24 hours Glen Helen. Testing dirt bikes and parts is 100% by far the greatest task anyone could ever want to have. So sick.
Well, that's what you think, Mike. But let me tell you how it really is.
Oh, come on.
I shouldn't blow his dream of what he actually thinks.
Because dirt bikes are awesome.
That we do.
Yeah, and I would way rather be working on a dirt bike than digging ditches or something else. It always could be worse.
Well, you could dig ditch, you can make money, you can buy your dirt bike, and you can ride it. You can test your dirt bike, and you can test it and make it anything you want. But then you don't have to go write the test, and you don't have to make the video, and you don't have to do a stupid podcast where you have to sucker your friends in to come here and read stuff. And George is over there wanting to go to sleep.
I'm about to go and sleep too, but
well, that's what this show is all about.
Deep are we into this? Almost 2 hours.
You know why I'm that tired? From dirt bikes.
Me too.
This is awesome.
This is the only reason I'm awake right now because of dirt bikes. Otherwise, I'd probably be watching the erection on TV.
Yeah. Triumph TF 250X first impression.
Oh, this is a good one. Matthew Toes 6433s, and he's talking about he's edited it, by the way.
Oh yeah,
but he's talking about the guy who's the test rider. And if
you don't shift down twice in the middle of the corner, not worthy of being a test rider. You need to watch Ricky Carmichael going around Gatorback Cycle Park. No dips in power. He's doing 65 miles an hour all the way around the track. It's you as a bad rider, not the bike. If you change up early, the torque will pull hard in the next gear. That was the whole reason. And it continues on.
Hold on.
You gotta of changing to the 4-stroke engine. This guy knows. This guy knows, Matthew.
You know what I like to do sometimes is
click on his profile.
I like to see what he's done. He's got 4 subscribers, Matthew.
Don't do this. You're wasting time and energy.
He's got... no, I like to see that. Sometimes they have cat videos, and then I fall in love with them.
Oh, okay.
So
he's critiquing your riding, or who's riding?
Well, I'm the test rider.
Oh, yeah.
When you're fat like me, Matthew, you have to downshift twice in a turn because it is like a 125.
On a 250, you do.
And yeah, you would know. You won a stinking Supercross championship on a 250.
Yeah, but this is my problem. Every time I hop back down on a 125 or 250, I go into the corner and I don't shift down twice. So then when I get on the gas to exit the turn, it bogs.
And then I'll tell you about.
Rekluse.
Yeah, maybe.
I will tell you that I promise you that not at any point at Gatorback Cycle Park, and I've only been there once in my entire life, is he ever going 65 miles an hour on the track. I don't know that there's any point on that track, and that has
before the elevator.
65
back in the day. Oh yeah, dude, you had to be on the gas to jump
I doubt you went 65.
Probably not. You're right.
Yeah,
but that was a big jump.
Yeah, it was a big jump, but I doubt it was 65, and not all the way around the track. And so
I'm about to go to Gatorback.
Oh, mini bike race. Yeah, I gotta go there.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Yeah. Okay, and if you change up early, the torque will pull hard in the next gear. Changing to 4-stroke. Well, Triumph never had a 2-stroke in the motocross world, so they can't change to a 4-stroke. They just went to a 4-stroke. And if you watch the whole review after, he's probably just so fascinated with my belly jiggling as I'm going through the turns. And I think at some point somebody tells me in the video that I shouldn't make 2 turns in 1 turn. Because I basically was out of balance and I didn't do it right, and I'm not very good.
They
at
didn't
motocross.
see your desert skills today, did they? Me and you have opposite problems. I feel like I could crush the motocross track, but I'm not so great in the desert sometimes. But you crush the desert, and then you're probably a little bit like this guy said. Not worthy or cringeworthy.
Mostly when I'm photo modeling. It was funny because on that day the bike was 100% brand new. We had to put an hour on it to break it in and do the first oil change. So that's kind of when we did the videos stuff. I didn't even set the sag. I just went out there and kind of lumbered it around. If I saw Trevor out there with his camera, I'd try to do a turn, and I thought he was shooting photos, not videos. So I might have gone in a little motocross action into the turn, but in reality, I do truly kind of suck at motocross turns these days. So you
still feel the bike though, and you understand.
Yeah, we really that is a really easy bike to ride. It's funny because it has these dips in the power, but for me, it actually works because it has torque and it pulls, and then it goes flat right about the time a lot of bikes pick up when I'm not ready for it. So when I am in that turn and I am a little bit out of balance, the bike mellows and I'm able to. I found it really easy to ride. I thought that Triumph did it. The bike for a first year model, by the way, it doesn't do anything really wrong. It's just it doesn't stand out. Like you ride it and you go, what is this? Is it a Honda or is it a Yamaha or is it a Kawasaki? It has all the flavors. It's a double spill tonight.
You should drink that off.
Might be a good off-road bike if it does everything pretty smooth.
Actually, they just introduced their 250 off-road bike. They just it's literally just released. I
think Jamie McCanney's going to race it for that Fast Eddie team over in Europe next year, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, you're watching what Johnny Walker's been doing in the Enduro Cross, whether it's the Enduro Cross
but those
here.
Guys, dude, it's not the bike, it's the rider.
Oh yeah. Well, but I mean, to take a 250 and compete against 350s. I think
it's the rider more. I'm not super educated on how all that racing works, but it seems like I think more than anything, he's stoked to be a part of that brand and have some support. And he seems amped on racing just in general, and the results are coming. It'll be cool to see what happens with the 450 as well. That
I'm riding it next week. Next week at this time. I should be back. I could do a Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. I think they're going to ban me from saying substantive comments.
Yeah.
But we'll get a little, actually, because then I'll watch this show. I'll do a wink. You ask the question and I'll wink once for yes and twice for no. Yeah. And then you can get a review here before anybody else in secret code. Cause that's how we do it here on things. So, let's see. Somebody likes writing a lot of comments on our TTR 230 video. We got some things coming in the chat. We got to do this before these guys fall asleep. Is that Ricky Bobby with the 411? What? What's that?
Maybe with the photo with the boots.
The boots?
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
Jason, how much is the delay right now, George?
He's watching the erection.
Yeah. It's not going to change. You should just go to sleep, and then it'll wake up, and there'll be turmoil somehow or another.
I can't tell how am I supposed to tell how long the day?
Yeah.
Let's do a couple more questions.
Okay, get a couple more questions in here. Here we go.
This guy, 2024 KTM 300.
It's
XCW
rear wheel slider says.
I've ridden this bike. I like this bike. Just a side note.
Okay.
This guy says, I'll pass on this bike, which I could see depending on what and where he rides. I enjoy a wild feeling bike. Yep. You're probably not going to like this one. And hates the electronics. It's like having the problems of a Stark without the speed.
Okay, so let me tell you what you need. You need a Yamaha YZ250 because Yamaha sponsors this show, and they would not sponsor the show if I wouldn't throw out these gratuitous sponsor plugs. So everything that you say agrees with you going on to a Blue Crew, even though you're a rear wheel slider and I'm not.
If you want a plated bike that's perfect for the mountains, but you want it lighter than a 4-stroke, that KTM 300 XCW is probably really good. But it's like so specialized.
It's a great bike. I really.
But I would still rather have a 350 or.
If I could, if I could have a KTM 300 with a Yamaha power tuner, and
I can see that.
And control the power valve, because I know what you can do with the power valve. Like just because I did some stuff with the power valve.
Yeah.
Oh, so bitching. But KTM doesn't want anybody to play with the power valve.
A couple of my buddies have this bike, and it's always so trippy for me when I ride it because it feels almost like it has 4-stroke power delivery. So smooth and connected.
It just pulls,
right when you get on it. Yeah.
You're talking about the 300.
300.
Yeah.
Jim, you have one, don't you? Yeah. Jim's got one. He's got the Erzberg edition.
He's got the super Gucci one.
He doesn't mess around. He goes factory edition all the time.
If you're
Every
Jim,
time the air filter's dirty, right? You go get a new bike.
That's what we do. Let's see. Hey, if we're talking about the 300, the KLX 300 and the CRF 300L, both bikes will be sold off and still be running 10 years from now.
True.
Let's see. Here's another nice thing to say about a KTM. He's talking about our all-wheel drive adventure bike test. This is the video that Jim shot that's got over 3 million views, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
George shut them.
$3
You're
million.
making money off that then.
Like most money, Jimmy repelled it and didn't monetize that one.
That's a long shot.
Okay.
Don't believe what your wife tells you about making money. It's probably about as smart to say you can make money by being a professional motorcycle racer.
You can.
Yeah, but how many people did?
I know a lot that make a lot, and I know a lot that make none. It's like feast or famine.
Yeah. No, you know a few that made a lot and a lot that made none.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still
So
making money off of riding a motorcycle.
yeah, you know what?
He's the most professional here.
Yeah. Yeah, he had all of his money put into one of those pensions or something like that.
Engine noise like bucket full of nuts. KTM, not nice. What's this guy talking about with your all-wheel drive adventure bike?
Well, you've heard of KTM 1090, 1190, the way
I had one, yeah.
they're a little rattly and they just make a lot of noise.
I guess.
They just sound noisy. And so in the video you can kind of, because it was,
You're in the
such a Jim used a super high quality professional camera when he shot that video. And I'm just in the sand. And so what you're actually hearing is the chain of the bike's chain, which was slapping around a little bit. And then that bike had an additional chain for the all-wheel drive system. And so there's a lot of bucket full of nuts and bolts, but it wasn't KTM's fault. It was Christini's fault. So, okay. Yamaha makes some great bikes, says Ollie Christopher 467. This is true. Thank you, Trevor. Oh, why are we always thanking Trevor for the breakdown of what works for you? And then we
so
get
who won 24 hours this year? Did they race?
Yeah, Trevor raced, but I don't think he
didn't win.
Yeah.
Wonder who won.
I'm not sure. And we have a lot of robots that are replying to our
Hey, this is a good one right here. What is the best? Sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
The
No,
robots, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. What is the best modified off-road bike? Is that what it says? It's cut off a little bit, but
What is the best modified off-road bike? Oh, it's the Yamaha WR250.
no, right below that. Right below that.
Oh, what is the best modified 450 off-road bike? Yeah, it's our 450 off-road
This guy
shootout.
put, I wonder how an RMZ 450 would have done with those mods.
So basically we did every bike after we kind of tested it, there was people that complained about certain things for each bike. So we allow, like all of our test riders, we kind of gave them the bike and said, okay, fix it for you. You complained. Here's how it works at dirt bike test. If you want to get a bike, to test with us, you're not going to get the one that you liked. You're going to get the one that you hated. And your job is to fix all the things that you complained about in a way that makes it better for not only you, but everybody else.
Yeah.
This is how we do things. And so, so we did this with our 450 off-road bikes. And so it's done with all those mods, meaning, I don't know. I'll tell you what, an RMZ 450, the number one thing for off-road that I would just start complaining about, and I would do it all the time, is electric start. There's like just plain and simple, I don't like kickstarting bikes anymore. So I think the package, though, as far as the chassis, the stability of that chassis, the kind of the way it works for the right rider, that would be class leading in all of these bikes. And then the fact that you could probably do some stuff to make that chassis like a little more forgiving. Because I think we changed some engine mounts in some of the bikes. And then we did things like some flex handlebars and different triple clamps in some of the bikes to change a few things. I think it would have done great. Other than everybody would have hated it because it doesn't have an electric start.
But for the price point, you'd have a lot more budget to do these things you mentioned.
Right. And you know what's strange is not too long ago, Suzuki had an RMX 450 with electric start.
Yeah, but it was all plugged up and everything too, right?
Right.
That was Gary Sutherland when he was racing it.
There's a few different guys. Rodney Smith was racing. Rodney Smith was racing it, I believe, at the time. A lot of guys. But it's strange that they haven't adapted that stuff. Maybe they've changed the cases and just enough to where that stuff doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But they had one.
I like what Jim's doing. He's buying a model bike that from 24 to 25 hasn't changed much. So he's using that money that is the difference to apply to his new bike. He wants to get skid plate.
Who's doing that?
Jim.
What are you doing?
He's getting skid plate, foot pegs, a bunch of things that don't cross over from his current bike.
He hasn't tried to sell me his old one. I didn't know he was getting a new one. He's waiting.
He's already sold. he hasn't sold.
It's already sold. Well, the air filter got dirty. I can't afford another bike, and actually, I think I've been cut off. I think my
downsize, aren't you?
My limit was 70. Yeah, everything I have is for sale. If you wanna buy anything,
Husaberg.
Yeah.
Is that for sale?
Well,
you are buying another one back, right?
Yeah, I hear I'm getting one back
From Ray.
Ray. Yeah,
yeah, I heard that. Story.
Yeah. It runs perfect at his house, but when he takes it out to a race, it never start. And so he's just going to bring it back here. I really wanted that bike.
Okay, here's our last question.
Okay.
2023 Gas EX 450F. I found a new leftover 2023 for a great price, hoping to get it very soon. It felt super light when I sat on it. Brembo brakes, clutch, steel brake and clutch lines, nice foot pegs, fuel light indicator. Checks all the boxes in my book for what I need. So sounds like this is kind of like what Jim's doing. Sounds awesome. For 2023, you can get a leftover one, great price.
Well, if there's a good time, if you have money right now, it's a great time to be buying like dirt bikes and toys and things like this. There's a lot of, I've even seen the prices on brand new 24s, like really crazy low. So,
dude, I was telling Jim, you can buy like a leftover gas, a 23 or 24, 250, like the 4-stroke version, the off-road one. It was cheaper than like the new style KTM or gas 85. It's mind-blowing. And it's mind-blowing how expensive the new 85s are.
Yeah.
But how many good deals you can get on one of those leftover bikes from the Austrian brands.
Yeah. It's like, I think all the brands right now are, I think everybody's waiting to see what happens in this thing that's going on tonight.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Is it decided yet, George?
Nope.
No winners?
Still close.
Damn. Okay. Well,
go to bed and figure it out.
With that, yeah, we'll wake up in the morning and know what's going on with the whole world could potentially come to an end, or you could just go ride your dirt bike like I plan on doing tomorrow, at least half day, right? Half day trail ride, Andrew?
Maybe.
You know what that means?
No.
12 hours.
Yeah.
Or 150 miles, whichever comes last.
All right. I can't even think straight right now.
Well, hey, I'd like to thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I'd like to thank George for buying me tacos tonight.
Yeah.
Good to be amongst you two legends.
Yeah.
Masters
George is
in your
awesome.
trade.
Yeah, Jim only fell asleep twice during the show. I watched. It's kind of like Bob. Remember Bob used to sit over there and fall asleep? Yeah. he caught himself when he did the head bob. So hopefully I put everybody else to sleep, and we'll get this up in the internet again.
Thanks for your listeners for putting the questions on there.
Yeah, thanks
and for congratulating you. It's a pretty big deal. I think you should be proud.
I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
I'm working on it.
Dude, that was amazing. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It was a much bigger deal than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't know. But you
cool.
have to do it.
Really cool.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Again, comment, like, share. Send us pictures of your cat. You thought I was going to say something bad, didn't you?
I thought you were going to say Rooster Endo.
Rooster Endo. Yeah, we need Rooster Endos too. So
Don't forget about your other thing you need to plug today in the shop.
We haven't even announced that yet.
Today.
We haven't even announced that. There's been like one little special thing.
Start hyping it, bro. Just
no, I'm
what
gonna.
are you waiting for?
New program coming.
Well, because I might not do it, and then if I don't.
You're
do
doing it.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
New and exciting stuff.
Got new and
Jimmy
exciting
Lewis
stuff.
and his shop out there coming soon.
Right.
He's gonna get on it as soon as we get done riding.
Right.
Probably means it's
maybe
not
I
gonna
could.
happen
Maybe
for a while.
I was gonna I was gonna do a thing with my gear, my backpacks, and then we had to go riding.
We robbed
today.
all those tools anyway to go ride.
So, yeah, Glenn says he'd hope to check this out again. He missed it. Well, there's 330 episodes up on YouTube that you can go back on. So
binge watch them.
You can binge watch. It's better.
What episode does he start with? What's the best one? Give him a highlight.
What's the best show?
One.
Yeah, it's me sitting in a Mexican restaurant talking about myself, and then it just
With
progressively.
Janie?
Yeah, Janie's like screaming
So
in the
start at
background.
1, then go to 100.
It progressively gets worse. I can tell you this for sure.
So where's the tipping point? When does it get better?
Listen to it as a podcast. Subscribe to one of the podcasting things, so you can just listen to it. You can pop it in your car and play it there, because you definitely don't want to watch us sit around and talk all the time. But no, they start getting good when you can watch this nice young man named Logan grow up on the show.
Yep.
Yep.
Just like any multi-season series where you watch those kid actors grow up on the show.
Right.
That's Logan.
Yeah,
that guy's like 9 feet tall now.
I think
He
Logan's
is.
coming in next
And a
week.
salesman. He
I just
talks
announced
people
that.
into
Logan
sales
back
on
in the
phone.
studio. Yeah, he expressed an interest in there.
Oh, good.
It's 24 hours.
He did. See, he doesn't tell me anything. He doesn't talk much. That's
scared
why
of
he's
you, I think.
that's why he's an awesome
I'd
co-host.
be scared of you too.
No, you shouldn't be.
No, if I was him, I was that young.
Hey, you can watch over the history of the show. You can see all the people I've just shuffled out of here. Had a lot of help in the past, and they all were substandard, and I had to make them go the other way.
They all found better opportunity. Or
Oh, is that
at
what
least
happened?
Something with a glimpse of opportunity and future in it, and maybe pay.
Yeah.
As soon as they got to get paid, they're out of here.
Well, the problem. I mean, somebody has to do the drinking around here.
It's all about passion. It's a test.
Right. Yeah. It's a life building experience. So with that, I'm going to let these guys get some sleep so they can have a life and
go ride bikes.
Thank you. And we'll go ride bikes and we will see you out on the trail. Cheers, everybody. If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the trail.